What's going on, y'all? This is Dana, Pope Junior Master Executive 8, and we're continuing our series on the Egyptian yoga philosophy. And today we are talking about. Whoa, hold on, guys. Let me make sure. Let me make sure I got all my little notes here. All right, cool. We good. All right. So, like I was saying, we're continuing, and we're going to finish talking about the Egyptian yoga philosophy. And today we are talking about the type of lifestyle that they live concerning their health, you know, um, in I ain't gonna say all aspects. There may be some aspects that this doesn't cover, and but cover some parts of their diet, um, their geography, um, diet, geography. I think that's pretty much all this. Oh, and some of their cleansing methods. All right. So just a I don't know. I was led to do a disclaimer for whatever reason, just in case anyone takes any of this information to use it. Any information on diseases, injuries, and treatments available at this channel is intended for general guidance only and must never be considered a substitute for advice provided by a doctor, a physical therapist, or other qualified medical professional. So we got that out the way, right? So why are we doing this? We're doing this because our bodies are temples of our spirits, and we're not our own. We rented these bodies, and we have to give them back when we're done. Maybe, I don't know. I'm still thinking that I could transfigure this thing. Call me crazy, but yeah, going up in flames, a good flame. But anyway, um, and then the next reason we're doing this is because health, it goes good with our soul. It goes good with our mind, our will, our emotion, our imaginations, and our intellect. And the third reason we're doing this is because we are athletes, you know. Um, any and we exercise control in all things. We keep our bodies under control and discipline, and that keeps us from being disqualified, right? So we can look at any athlete, you know what I'm saying, that performs, and it's only through self-discipline that, especially like if you think of athletes that are high performers, it's only through discipline that they get there. Not like that's the only thing, but that is a major contributing factor to any high level performing athlete, or I would say any serious athlete in general. You know what I mean? Like even the ones that aren't in the Olympics, that maybe some you never even really heard of, they exercise discipline in some way, shape, or form to get anywhere in life. Or anyone that's really done anything great in life have exerted some sort of discipline to get there. So if we want to be high level performers, then we have to be disciplined. So what was the medical system that was used, and the diet that was observed in the time of the ancient Egyptians? Um, they associated the cause of disease to be often attributed to their diet. And this is often attributed to Hippocrates. They call him the father of medicine. Hippocrates of Kos is also known as Hippocrates II. He was a Greek physician of the age of Pericles, and he was considered the most outstanding figure in the history of medicine. But scientists have found, I did a little back research on this, so y'all can get a little back research, and it's not completely thorough, but it was enough for me to say, okay, this was verified by scientists who did their jobs. So, you know what I'm saying? So he's considered the most outstanding figure in the history of medicine. Scientists have found documents, though, that date back 3,500 years and prove the origins of medicine actually had its roots in the Egyptian culture before the Greeks. Um, 1500 BC to 1,000 years before Hippocrates was born, evidence was found in medical papyri by the research team of from the KNH Medical Center for biomedical Egyptology at the University of Manchester. Dr. Jackie Campbell of the university's KNH Center for Biomedical Egyptology says classical scholars have always considered the ancient Greeks, particularly Hippocrates. Am I pronouncing that right? Is it Hippocrates or Hippocrates? I'm just gonna say Hippocrates. Um, as being the father of medicine, but our findings suggest that the ancient Egyptians were practicing a credible form of pharmacy and medicine much earlier. When we compared the ancient remedies against modern pharmaceutical protocols and standards, we found the prescriptions in the ancient documents not only compared with pharmaceutical prescriptions of today, but that many of the remedies had therapeutic merit. Honey, resin, and metals. I'm sorry, that was end quote, right? So honey, resin, and metals that were known to be antimicrobial were used to treat wounds by ancient Egyptian physicians, as found in medical documents that were first discovered in the mid 19th century. Also discovered among the many prescriptions were laxatives made of castor oil and colocynth. Colocynth is a bitter purgative drug obtained from the colocynth fruit. There were also prescriptions for bulk laxatives that were made of figs and bran uh, pieces of grain husk separated from the flour after milling. Um, re, rebo, Rubofacients are the drug that causes irritation and reddening of the skin due to increased blood flow. They are believed to relieve pain in various mul- musculoskeletal conditions and are available on prescription and in over-the-counter remedies. Uh, Sally, man, these words I should have practiced, but it's cool. Salicylate, sal- salicylate, salicylate is a commonly used rubefacient. Uh, these were used to stimulate blood flow um, to people who had musculoskeletal conditions. And also poultices. A poultice is a soft, moist, massive material, typically of a plant material or flower that was applied to the body to relieve soreness and inflammation and kept in place with a cloth. The poultices were used to soothe and warm the areas. So basically, the rubefacents were given to stimulate the blood flow of the musculoskeletal condition, and then they were also given a poultices to soothe and warm the areas. So also a colic, um, for those who don't know what colic is frequent and prolonged and intense crying or fussiness in a healthy infant. A colic can be particularly frustrating for parents because the baby's distress occurs for no apparent reason, and no amount of consoling seems to bring any relief. So for colic, hyoscyamus was used in ancient times. The plant used to treat pain and insomnia, and as a local anesthetic. In the Middle Ages, the use of hyoscyamus was associated with witchcraft, and later was used as an anesthetic. So the intestinal carminatives and cumin and coriander was also used. A carminative is basically an agent that prevents and relieves flatulence, basically gas in the intestinal tract, and in infants, and may help in the treatment of colic. So to help basically babies from uh, stop fussing and crying. Prolonged crying colic was used. I mean, hyoscyamus was used, as well as um, coriander and cumin. And coriander is an annual herb in the family Apiaceae. It's also known as a Chinese parsley, dania, or cilantro. All parts of the plant are edible, but the fresh leaves and the dried seeds are the parts most traditionally used in cooking. Okay, so many of the ancient remedies were discovered. We discovered. This is quoting again by Dr. Campbell. Many of the ancient remedies we discovered survived into the 20th century, and indeed some remain in use today, albeit that the active component is now produced synthetically. Other ingredients endure, and acacia is still used in cough remedies, while aloes forms a basis to soothe and heal skin conditions. There's now research being done to see what plants currently have ties to the plants that were used in the ancient times. These genetic techniques are now being created by Dr. Ryan Metcalf to investigate the medical plants of ancient Egypt. This work is, this is quoting again, this work is inextricably linked to state of the art chemical analysis used by my colleague Judith Seeth, who specializes in the essential oils and resins used by the ancient Egyptians. Professor Rosalie David, director of the K&H Center, said these results are very significant and show that the ancient Egyptians were practicing a credible form of pharmacy long before the Greeks. And also another reason why we're doing this is because if you find anything in here that may be useful to your health, I would advise you to use it. Because like I said before, our bodies are the temple; they host our spirit. It's going to make us better athletes and better to able to perform um, while we're here in these vehicles that we rented. So our research is continuing on a genetic, chemical, and comparative basis to compare the medicinal plants of ancient Egypt with modern species and to investigate similarities between the traditional remedies of North Africa with the remedies used by their ancestors in 1500 BC. So Herodotus, that's the end of that as far as kind of like the backstory on the research. So Herodotus, he was an ancient Greek writer, geographer, and historian who was born in ancient Greece, Greek city of Halicarnassus, part of the former Persian Empire. And during his travels to Egypt, he also witnessed the elaborate medical science system that they had. Herodotus spoke about the excellent record keeping of the Egyptians, saying they were the best historians of any nation he has ever experienced. And here are some of the healthy lifestyle habits they practiced. They would purge every month for 3 days consecutively, 3 days straight, with enemas and emetics. Their belief was that all disease comes from food, the food that we eat. And he also said that with these habits, made them that made them the healthiest nation next to the Libyans. So a an enema is basically something that's taken through the rectum to cleanse like the colon, and then an emetic is something that is usually taken orally to cause vomiting, so that you can vomit up bowel or phlegm. Um, Nowadays, I seen that it was mostly used for pets. But I did find on Amazon a solution that they have that I think it's a pill or something that they'll have to help you do it. Or also, I seen it done with, it's called a saltwater flush. You can do it with salt water as well. Um, so yeah. So choosing to stay um in a place that has regular climate rather than a changing climate prevented disease as well. A changing climate was actually, excuse me, a prime cause of bad health. You know what I'm saying? And if you live up north, like, I mean, I'm in Philly, so like, and I pretty much I just came back from Florida. I lived out in Florida for about 4 years. I mean, I've been in the military and lived in different. I've been mostly here, but I visited a bunch of states. You know, I've had jobs where I've traveled, you know, pretty much all over the state. I've been to like the Dominican Republic maybe once. Like, only that actually was the only time I actually been out of the country. And so, like, as far as traveling, I admit I haven't traveled as much as I want to, but I will definitely be, and I'm also definitely considering relocating. Um, but like, I ain't gonna say too much about that. I don't wanna, say everything, but definitely, I'm definitely not staying here for sure. Um, but as far as when or where, that will never be said on this platform. But definitely not staying here, especially boom, like this was like confirmation today, like just as far as health. Like here it's not drastic. Like you get a pretty um what's the word I'm looking for? Gradual transition into seasons, but still you'll have those days or you'll have those weeks where it's like 90 degrees. You know what I'm saying? And then the next week it's like 60. You know what I'm saying? So like that's not as extreme as some other places. Like I've heard, um, I haven't been there, but I've heard from some soldiers that I used to be in the unit with, that when they went overseas, certain places they stayed, like especially like desert areas, it'd be like extremely hot during the daytime. And then during the nighttime, literally like cold, like cold. You know what I'm saying? So I don't, like I said, I haven't experienced it, but I'm pretty sure there's some parts in the world that the climate changes dramatically, and that can cause health problems. It can throw your equilibrium off because your body is constantly having to adjust. And even something as simple as here, sometimes, man, the minute the weather changes, like gets cold, everybody starts getting sick. Matter of fact, they pretty much call it flu season. You know what I mean? They call it flu season because everybody starts getting sick because of the climate change. So I definitely would suggest at least trying it. You know what I'm saying? Trying to. I will say, man. When I did live in Florida for those, I lived in Florida for about 4 years. I was down there for about, let me see, 3 years. I'll say 3 or 4 years. And there's steady weather there. Like it pretty much doesn't really. I mean, the coldest it might get, I think the coldest it got while I was there was maybe like 30 degrees. Like it didn't really go, like if it did go lower than that, it might have been like very not that often. But then the high would be like 50. You know what I'm saying? So like for the most part, like Florida is pretty much hot most of the time. And if not hot, warm most of the time. So like I will say, like I didn't experience a lot of sickness down there at all. Like at all. It was times where places I was staying where other people were sick, and I do crazy stuff. They'll be sick, and I'll be purposely like around them just to test my immune system. Like, hey, you eating that? Yeah, let me get some of that. I'm eating off of them. Hey, ask them. When I was literally, I'd be doing some other stuff. I wouldn't do that now. Like, nah, that's not. I wouldn't do that now. But anyway, all that to say is, they lived in a um that's crazy. First person I just thought of when I said that is somebody who lives in Costa Rica right now. Wonder why they moved there. I'm not saying that that was the only reason, but that could definitely be a contributing factor. But so yeah, living somewhere where the weather is um stable majority of the time can definitely contribute to your health. Um, they ate celestes. I spelled this word wrong. Celestes, which were made of loaves of spelt. Um, they drank. Well, the celestes was a loaf made of spelt. They drank wine made of barley. It's interesting because where I was reading this from, it said they had no vineyards, but that's not. I found other evidence suggesting otherwise, that they did have vineyards. They did have wine. Maybe at one point they did, but they did drink wine made of barley. They ate sun dried, raw, and salted fish. Um, they ate raw quail, ducks, and various small birds, and some of them were pickled in brine. Other birds and fish that weren't considered sacred. I meant to look that up too. What birds and fish? You know what? Were considered sacred. Mm, sorry. Excuse me for the pause. I was trying to see if I could find real quick. Um, what ones? I know they did a pray. I think they didn't eat, but I mean, I don't know who does. Um, all right, I ain't gonna waste too much time on this. Yeah. So anyway, probably get to that later. But anyway, they also they found ways to of eating that were more cost efficient. Like they like when the river was full and it was like flooding the neighboring flats, they would gather the lotuses, also known as water lilies, and they would dry them in the sun. They would make baked loaves with the poppy head that they got from the center of the plant by grinding and baking it. And they would also eat the root of the lilies, which was big like an apple, and it was sweet. Another lily that looked like a rose had a separate stalk with a blossom that they would pick the seeds out of, and they would either dry them or eat them green. So like how we would have our sunflower seeds, they had these lily seeds, or they just eat them straight up. There was a crop of papyrus reed that grew in the marshes that they would cook the lower part of, and they would cook it in the pan till it was really hot for like optimal enjoyment. And then the other half they would use for other purposes. I meant to look that up too to see what I'm pretty sure it was some sort of maybe like I don't know garnishing maybe, or even like some sort of seasoning, or maybe even like clothing or something. I don't know. So some people ate nothing but fish. They would catch them and they would gut them like soon as they catch them, and then they would either sun dry them, um, or eat sun dry them, or I guess boil them. I lost my note here. I don't know what happened. So, and I meant to find the name of this practice. Let me. My fault, y'all. I'm like looking stuff up. Um, it has a name. The ancient Indians practiced a they had a practice of a medic, an emetic practice. It had a name. I can't believe I ain't write it down. But anyway, they had an emetic practice, and in this emetic practice, it was basically like, I guess you could say like the invention of salt water um, cleansing, and it involved drinking 4 or 5 glasses of lukewarm water. Um, with a small amount of salt in it, and they would shake up their intestines like through massage and movement, and then finally they would induce vomiting to clean out the phlegm in the bowel. Most of the cooking that they did was done in the sun, which was way better than the alternatives we have today. Most of the food we cook, or even worse, that we put in the microwave. Excuse me. I need some more. Has its I should have my water here. Has its nutritional quality lowered significantly. A majority of their diet was vegetables, and they were mainly eaten raw. Spelt was used in place of wheat, and according to the Indian Ayurveda science, wheat in some people cause phlegm and congestion. So, like I said before, the steady climate was a major contributing factor to their health. In other parts of the world, the climate can change very quickly and drastically, even in a single day. And this jolt to the body that is received due to the change affects the ability for the body to stay balanced tremendously. Yeshua or Jesus also talks about this in the Essene Gospels of Peace, as far as the geographical location. Um, and the food combining, the eating attitudes, and the cleansing through fast and enemas. He talks about all of that in book 1 and book 2. I think book 3 started to get into the meditation, and book 4 was like going into the the stream. I don't remember exactly. I think I'm definitely gonna be going through those books too, man. I that was one of the books that kind of also got me started on um, I guess being a vegetarian, because man, like, you know, the Bible has a lot of great stuff in it, but like when I read that, I was just kind of like, man, like I wish this was in there, like these are different from the dietary laws that you see in the book of Deuteronomy. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't necessarily like bashing anybody who ate meat. It just was like that they would be on the outer courts, and the inner courts would be the vegetarians. You know what I'm saying? And that's, what I'm saying. That's what it said in there. Like I'm not necessarily judging anybody. Like I don't even think, I ain't gonna say um it doesn't make any difference like on your spirituality, but yeah, I mean, I just think it's more about what's coming out that defiles you rather than what's going in. But at the same time, I mean, I would suggest definitely, if you're gonna eat meat, like at least try to get it like grass fed, you know what I'm saying, or at the very least halal. You know what I mean? And even because, like, I mean, most of the food we got now, man, it's like stepped on. I mean, even from the, you know, the best places, the soil is not the same. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? Like, man, I don't even want to be a downer. I'm just You know what I'm saying? Like at one point I was so hyped, like, yeah, man, I'm eating organic food. And you know what I mean? And then when I just started seeing they start slapping organic on, they was slapping on, slap the word organic on anything. And I'm just like, oh man, like, dude. I remember being on this job site when I was working for a fence company, and this guy coming up to me offering me like a case of these energy drinks. And I was just kind of like, nah, man, I'm good. Like, it wasn't even one, like, I was drinking energy drinks at that time too, but it wasn't even one of the ones that I would drink. And I was just like, nah, man, I'm good. He's like, come on, man, it's a whole case. I got to get rid of them. And then he was he was like, they're organic. And I just started busting out laughing. I'm like, yeah, they're organic, but look how much sugar they got in them, dude. Like, you crazy, man. I'm going to drink that thing and be, I mean, I had already had one that day, so it was like I drink that, man. I'm gonna be off this. I'm probably just gonna crash. Like the thing about those energy drinks is after a while you don't even feel them. That was so crazy. You don't even feel them. You got so much sugar just coursing. You can't even think straight with all that sugar running through your veins. You know what I'm saying? And then it doesn't even do anything after a while. Like you literally, I actually started crashing more. Like drinking, the more I would drink, the more I would crash. I was just like, yo, it's not even doing that no more. I mean, now I just do my best to rely on sleep. I still have my coffee. I admit, I ain't gonna lie, man. I fell in love with coffee when I was in Florida, man. I fell in love with it. I think I had like my first like real cup, all black, Cafe Bustelo, and I was just like, And then I think I added the creamer to it, and I was hooked. I was hooked. And now I'm just like, all right, like I think I'm gonna eventually like even I got to get off the coffee too, only because I noticed. You know, it was one interesting thing about food is a lot of times we eat food for comfort. Like I like sometimes like if I'm not really feeling like my best, I'll start to like comfort myself through food. Like I'll go get some Chinese food. You know what I'm saying? Then I might I might smoke a cigarette. You know what I mean? I might and yo, I'm not like yo, don't get me twisted. I'm not no cigarettes are bad, terribly bad for you. But I ain't no pack smoker, yo. I will say though, I have been doing a lot more lately. Like I'll smoke like one a day. And it's interesting because I noticed something happened. I was just like, yo, like even though it's like one, like at first it went from one like a week, then it went from one to like a couple days, then it's been like every day, and I'm just like, I'm never gonna get no pack, but it's like even one a day, like it's too much. You know what I mean? Like I feel myself when I don't have it, like going through the same. I mean, just because I've been going through a lot of changes lately, but at the same time, I notice myself using that as an excuse to smoke, using that as an excuse to go buy Chinese food to comfort however I was feeling instead of dealing with it. You know what I mean? Or so like a lot of times we use that food to comfort stuff. That's it's a form of avoidance and escapism. You know what I mean? And we should seek to definitely like become aware of that and when those times come, like don't be seeking that comfort. Like whatever that is that you gotta deal with it, like deal with it head on. You know what I mean? And maybe like if you got these ways of comforting yourself, maybe start out by um, take some small step. You know what I'm saying? That whenever that come up, take some small step. Like, all right, you know what I mean? Um, all right, maybe I want, all right, boom, I want to get some food. You know what I mean? Because whatever I need to comfort. All right, instead of getting that Chinese food, just go get some different kind of food. Yeah, I mean, get you some green, some green a salad. I mean, or something. Yeah, I mean, and we don't want to like keep using this, but like I've been finding that the best ways to make changes, like sometimes you can do stuff cold turkey, but other things is just like small little changes over time. So that's it, man. That's it as far as this is part one. We have some more parts to do to finish this up. My goal is to finish up this pretty much all of the information that I have to do with the Egyptian yoga philosophy. Um, to also finish up what I started as far as the BCT, the behavioral cognitive um, therapy, the self-directed, and to apply them to my life and to get results. That's the goal. This is part of practicing having an impeccable word. This is one thing I read in the book, great book. It's called The Four Agreements. And the first one is to have an impeccable word, meaning your word is bond. Now, the fourth agreement is to always do your best. Sometimes you will not always keep your word, but if you do your best, you know what I'm saying? That's what we're looking to do. So there are some things that I haven't kept my word on, but if I can from here on out, if I say I'm going to do something, do it, do it. Or don't say I'm going to do it. You know what I'm saying? So like this is a part of me practicing an impeccable word, keeping my word. So yeah, man. That's it. Uh and we'll continue next time continuing about the talking about the healthy lifestyle of the ancient Egyptians. And if there's something in here that you can apply to your life, I hope you do. I hope it does help you change your life for the better. And if there's anything that um, you experience, let me know how it went. Put it in the comment box. Like this video if there was something that you liked about it. If you dislike the video, hey, cool. Tell me why. If you like it, tell me why. And subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Um, yeah, that's it. And I will talk to y'all later. Thank you.